the other side of the river, so you can get a better view on it back there. Now, they are excellent swimmers, but they usually just walk along the bottom of the river instead of swim. So that's another reason you might not see them as easily. Yeah, they can hold their breath for about 8 minutes. Pretty long time, and I do see some more to our left behind the island. Hippos are also very territorial animals, and they can outrun humans. You wouldn't think hippos can outrun us, but they're pretty fast on land. Run about 20 miles per hour. There's also some pink-backed pelicans to our left on the island. Those pelicans got their name because during breeding season, their backs will turn a light pinkish color. And the bluish color bird to our left on the land, that's a white-breasted cormorant. They'll dive underwater and swim around to catch their food.
Alright.
As we go across this bridge, if you look to your left, those are Nile crocodiles, one of the larger predators here in Africa. Make sure everyone stays seated back there. Thank you. They are ectothermic animals, meaning they rely on their environment to regulate their body temperature. So you'll oftentimes see them lying out on the land trying to warm up. You see them lying there with their mouths open. They're actually trying to cool off by releasing excess heat through their mouths. We're going to get out here and head up to a totally different ecosystem with many more animals that I'll do my best to point out. But sometimes you may see them before me. It happens. Just go ahead and shout them out. That way everyone gets a chance to see them. And speaking of different, there's a funny looking tree coming up on our right. It's known as a baobab tree. But it also has the nickname of the upside down tree. Because for up to 9 months out of the year it has no leaves. And its branches kind of look like roots sticking up in the air. And they grow throughout the savannah, so we're probably going to see more, because that is where we're headed. We're also going to take a look at the Serengeti grasslands, which stretch for hundreds of miles. It serves as a superhighway for millions of migrating animals every single year. It's also home to some of the more famous animals: lions, elephants, even giraffes. So we'll get a good sighting of all these animals. But I can't make any promises. Safaris are always changing. And let's make sure of that. And I do see some giraffes off in the distance. And also coming up on our right as we go around this curve, there's a large tan animal near the opening in the bushes. It's a Patterson's eland, the largest species of antelope on the reserve. Males like that one can reach about 6 feet in height at their shoulders and weigh up to 2,000 pounds. What's really impressive is they can jump about 6 to 8 feet in the air. We are going to get closer to those giraffes in just a moment. They're also coming up on our right. Giraffes are the tallest species in the world. They're born about 6 feet tall, so they're pretty tall babies. And they can reach 20 feet in height when they're fully grown. Those are Maasai giraffes. You can tell by the jagged edges of their patterns. Each giraffe does have a unique pattern, just like our fingerprints. So no two giraffes look the same. Look really closely to see the differences. Looks like we'll get a little bit closer once we go around to the other side. There's also some large brown animals with really impressive horns coming up on our right. Those are Ankole cattle. They're also known as Watusi cattle after the African tribe that domesticated them. They're the only domesticated species on our reserve. Also, if you look up to your left, those are African painted dogs. They're also known as wild dogs. They got the name painted dogs because of their coats. You mind down near the logs. They're very social animals. They are considered to be one of the most successful hunters in all of Africa. They just take turns chasing their prey until it passes out from exhaustion. Their packs are led by an alpha male and female, one of the primary breed. They have up to 20 pups of every crossing the road, so we have to stop. Across in front of us. Their horns can reach about 5 feet in length. And they serve as a cooling system for their blood. Blood will go into the horns to cool down, and then it circulates right back into their bodies, cooling them off. So they're not solid. They have a honeycomb-like structure on the inside. That way the blood can travel through their legs, right? They were kind of gross though, because termites use dirt, saliva, and feces to build them. So that's pretty nasty. Considering how strong they are, it's amazing. So some giraffes on both sides. Now, giraffes also have 7 neck vertebrae, just like humans. So theirs are a lot larger. It helps them reach the leaves. Along with their 18-inch long tongue, that also helps. It's a pretty long tongue. And it is prehensile, so they use it to grasp onto the tree branches and rip off all the leaves. Elands coming up. They're going to be on our right. There's some females. There's also some gray animals ahead of us. They're going to be on our right-hand side if we go around the curve. Those are white-bearded wildebeest. So young male patterns. Up here, the wildebeest have one of the largest migratory patterns of all species. They also call it mews after the grunting sound that they make. Sounds kind of like a cow, but a little different. The landscape that we're looking at, it is maintained by the animals that live here. Elephants will knock down trees to get at leaves. Giraffes use their very long necks to chop the undersides of trees. And then you have grazers like gazelles, zebras, and antelopes that keep the grasses nice and short. And this creates a balanced ecosystem where every animal has enough to eat. They're not really competing for resources. We're almost to Monkey Point, and that's in elephant country. Monkey Point got its name after a troop of mandrills that are usually seen gathering there. Those are the monkeys with the bright red and blue faces. The largest, most brightly colored monkey in the world. Though it's usually the dominant male with the brightest coloration. It's pretty easy to spot these out with the troop. Otherwise, they do blend in very well. Spot any yet? They could be hiding. We'll keep on going. See if we can find some elephants. And we are in elephant country, so I'm thinking we have a pretty good chance. Now, one way to tell the difference between Asian and African elephants are their ears. You'll notice if we do get to see some African elephants that they have very large ears that are kind of in the shape of Africa, which is pretty neat. Check that out. See something. Oftentimes when you see elephants, they're flapping their ears. They do that to cool down because they have blood vessels right behind their ears. So every time they flap them, it cools them off a little bit. Kind of like giant fans. You may also see them throwing dirt on their backs. They do that because they have very sensitive skin. The dirt kind of acts like sunscreen in a way, to keep them from burning. So hopefully we'll get to see some elephants. Researchers have discovered is that elephants are afraid of bees. They don't like them because of their very sensitive skin. And they'll warn other elephants if there are bees in an area. So researchers are working with farmers throughout Africa to put up beehive fences around their crops as a safer way of keeping elephants out. It's a win-win for everyone. So it keeps the elephants safe and the farmers get honey that they can sell as a little bonus. flamingos coming up on our left. The lightest species of flamingo. They hatched a brownish gray color. They eat brine shrimp, which contains a chemical compound known as beta-carotene. And after about a year and a half, it'll turn them that nice pink color. They're also the largest species of flamingo. They're about 5 feet tall when they stand upright.